Isolation in confined spaces, when our safe spaces, our homes, suddenly start to feel like a cage that we are trapped in and can't escape no matter how hard we try. When spaces that have felt spacious before and provided us with comfort after a long day of work start to enclose themselves on us, and we feel like being stuck in a confined space. Over the past year, we had to face significant changes and restrictions in our lifestyles. With being forced to stay in isolation as much as possible, we had to adapt to new ways of living and working. With the majority of us having to work from home, we had to think about new ways to set up our workspaces in the most efficient way, to be able to still meet the work requirements, but also not forgetting about our personal life outside of work and letting the work control our entire day. Resources and spaces are limited these days. While some people might be lucky to have enough space to set up proper studios and offices, the majority of us finds themselves sitting hunched back in front of the computer, crammed into the last free corner, complaining about back pain and aches after starting to move again. The aim for this project was to take my research from the previous module one step further and connect it with the current situation and not think about space as an outer space, but in the actual space that we're living in. I think I've achieved to convey my thoughts, ideas and concept quite well through my final outcome. The idea was to develop a concept which would take reference of portable homes and shelters, as well as considering the changes our bodies have undertaken during isolation due to bad posture. The round, voluminous silhouettes and circles I've included in my designs are a metaphor for our daily routines, which stopped changing over the past year and kept repeating themselves. The drawstrings symbolize how it feels being in isolation when a space suddenly starts to enclose on you and having to adapt to new circumstances, trying to find solutions to transform your home from a living space into a workspace. After a long day of sitting hunchback at our desks, cramped into our improvised workspaces, it often feels like you are unfolding your body when you finally get up and keep moving. The voluminous shapes of my garments emphasize and work around our distorted bodies, making them comfortable for the wearer. This project really helped me pushing myself forward and developing and improving my skills. It helped me to problem solve things rather than giving up. Where I usually would have stopped working on a piece and start something new, I learned to keep going with it and make the best out of the situation to achieve the best outcomes. Not being able to set up my workspace in the studio and having everything on hand really has improved my organization and time managing skills. Now that I was forced to not only do the research and creative part at home, but also the pattern making and sewing, I had to think about the most useful way to set up my bedroom as a working place in a way that I would be able to achieve the best outcome for this project, as well as still being able to not get lost in chaos and being able to enjoy my time off. The best solution for me has been to set up different workstations in my room for the different tasks I need to be doing, so that whenever I was working on my trawls, it would be easy for me to get back to my research and pattern pieces. The limited resources also helped me to improve my pattern making and sewing skills. Not having all the specific facilities and machines on hand had me thinking more in depth about the construction and finishing of my garments, since I still wanted my trawls to look well tailored, even though I just had the basic tools at home. The first part of the module has been the most challenging for me. I struggled with getting into the research of the project and sticking to a proper work routine, because I was spending most of my time sitting in front of the computer, rather than actually doing practical work. Once we started on the first sampling, I finally got into the project and started to really pull my research together and develop a design concept. I wish I would have got more work done in the beginning of the project so that I would have had more time to spend on the trawls and get the chance to make some of them in full size. Towards the end of the module, I managed to stick to a proper routine and making to-do lists, and I want to keep going with that for the upcoming project. During this project, I got the chance to use a lot of my pattern making, sewing skills and knowledge, and also have been able to develop them even further. I learned new ways of adding volume to a pattern and making it hold its shape while maintaining the comfort level of the wearer. Also, I spent more time and put more thoughts into the presentation of my work in my sketchbook than I have done before.